The following program is a UNC Charlotte production.
Welcome inside UNC Charlotte. First up in this edition, an update on a major construction and renovation project on campus. South Village, the university's oldest residential community, is undergoing a major transformation to meet the needs of current and future students. Then we head over to Atkins Library for more renovation. The library has completely renovated 20,000 square feet of the ground floor to allow students more access to state-of-the-art technology and collaboration space. UNC Charlotte will host the 2013 Atlantic 10 Conference Baseball Championship, May 22nd through 25th. Inside UNC Charlotte's Ryan Rose sat down with Head Coach Loren Hibbs and seniors John Hamilton and Shane Basen to talk about the event. All this and more inside UNC Charlotte. If you've driven past campus lately on Highway 49, you've seen a whole lot of construction going on. What you're seeing is the university's master plan in action. South Village, the university's oldest student residential area, is undergoing a major transformation to meet the needs of current and future students.
Well, the university's master plan laid out where students would live on campus, and essentially the plan calls for us to develop 3 different villages. And 2 of the villages are primarily focused on upper class students, the North Village and the East Village. The South Village is unique in the plan in that it's primarily going to be a freshman village.
So this footprint that we now call South Village is the location of the very first residence halls that were ever built here. They were built in the late 60s, early 70s, and every year since then they've been filled to capacity. So thousands and thousands of students have gone through these doors. Our students would go to class, and then when they'd come home, they'd come to like a different world. And so, it was time. And the good thing is that as part of our housing master plan, we incorporated coming back over here and bringing this side of campus to the same standard, the same look, the same feel that the rest of campus has evolved into. So it's both bringing it up to modern times in terms of the look and feel of the rest of the campus, and it's also being able to add capacity.
UNC Charlotte's Facilities Management Department manages all new construction on campus. Navigating a project of this scale will present challenges.
I'd say by far the biggest challenge is constructing 5 projects in an occupied residential area of nearly 2,000 students, where there's a near constant flow of vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic, crisscrossing work zones. That's been a big challenge.
We have 4 different design teams involved, everybody from architects to engineers, 4 different contracting teams involved, coordinating the plans so that everything fit together was a monumental task. Making sure those contractors had access to the site, which wouldn't disrupt student life, making sure the students were safe.
I guess the other challenge will be finishing Phase 11 on time. That's scheduled to be completed in June. The roadway project will finish up in August. The utility plant project will finish up in June, as will the parking deck project. And dining hall will finish up in August of 2014.
We have 2,000 students living in that area. We've got these 4 major projects going on in a very tight geographic area. And coordinating all those things was just quite a job and well done by our capital group.
One of the key aspects of any new construction today is sustainability. It's no different for South Village, where sustainability is considered in all aspects of the project.
Well, first and foremost, North Carolina passed Senate Bill 668, which is otherwise known as the Performance Standards for Sustainable Energy Efficient Public Buildings, which requires any public building new construction in the state of North Carolina to use 30% less energy than the 2004 baseline and 20% less water than the 2006 plumbing code baseline. We are meeting that using energy efficient fixtures, heating and ventilation equipment. We're looking at ways to use less water, ways to minimize or eliminate irrigation, ways to use lower maintenance plants that are natural to the area. We're using a lot of that around the dining hall that aren't going to need as much attention and as much irrigation. The dining hall is also putting in solar thermal panels on the roof, which will assist our hot water heater and use the sun to heat the hot water. We also use several different building certification programs on campus. The most well-known is LEED, but for South Village Dining, it will be the first new construction building owned by the state of North Carolina that will use the Green Globes certification standard. It's a comparable system.
The new dining hall will serve as the heartbeat of South Village and is certain to be a unique facility.
I think the important thing is that it's more than a dining hall. It's going to be like a dining hall, but more so a community center. So we will have retail dining, we will have member dining, which is what we call residence dining here at UNC Charlotte. But it will be much more than dining. Also, what students need is they need a place to connect. We're really interested in food service, but that's only part of what we do. What happens around food is hopefully community. And so what we've tried to do, we've worked with our various partners on campus, the housing folks, the food service folks, auxiliary folks, facilities. And what we've tried to do is create something that's more than dining and that students want to be there to hang out. And so that's why we have, we'll have comfortable seating, we'll have some fireplaces, we'll have the video area, we'll have member dining. It'll be a place you can come and meet before you dine, after you dine, program around. It's going to be a cool space.
In terms of like Scott and Holzhauser, there's actually going to be a bridge that connects from the new dining facility to these particular buildings. And that dining facility is going to be the community for this part of campus. And then the bridge is just going to be a magnet that draws them there.
I live in Moore Hall and I'm on the second floor, so I actually hear the new residence dining hall being built every morning at 8 a.m. But part of me is excited for the new freshmen because I get to talk to parents a lot when they come in and they ask me all the exciting things going on. It's like I can point right out my window. I'm like, we're having a new residence dining hall going up. It's going to have a bakery. We have brand new housing that's going up. And it's really making us competitive for other universities, especially with football coming. It's just really things you can get excited about.
I just think it's going to be a great place for them to be. They're going to want to be here. It's not going to be like by default they got assigned here. They're going to want to get a housing assignment in South Village.
We moved back to Charlotte in 1970, and I found out that my grandfather was giving a certain large amount to this wonderful university every year. Miss Bonnie Cohn had gotten him to do that. And when he died, I knew that there would be flowers from all over the country. And I thought that's a waste. So I requested that money be sent out here to start a scholarship in his honor in the business school. And then I started going to the basketball games, and I had never been a basketball fan. But under Lee Rose, I enjoyed the way he had the guys play. And got more and more interested, and it just grew from there. Coming back to Charlotte and getting involved in the business has done a great deal for me, and it's the people in the city who have helped make my business grow. And that, therefore, it gave me the ability to help the city in return. Well, I didn't finish college. And I used to think I would go back, but I'm sort of lazy in that respect, so I never did. But I realized what this university could be for this region. The involvement is such a pleasure. The people out here are so wonderful to be around and to work with. It's wonderful seeing the young people come out here and go to school and grow and have all the opportunities that are offered here. And I just love meeting them and being around them. You know, this kind of thing is just wonderful to see someone who couldn't have made it without help and have so many things against them, and they persevere so hard. I never really had to persevere too much in my life. So it's just a great feeling to be able to help people to get their degree, which obviously is going to help them down the road. There are more things than just athletics. And I realize how important athletics are for universities and colleges, especially this university at this time in its life. But there are other things too. There are international students. I think the students traveling abroad and students coming in here from abroad hopefully will somewhere down the road lead to more peace in the world. It's just so nice to be able to help at a place that is so important to the region we live in, and to help make it a better place, and to help the young people grow and get their education.
Recently, the J. Murray Atkins Library renovated 20,000 square feet of its ground floor to support student collaboration. The collaborative space was designed with convenience, flexibility, and connection in mind. It includes flexible seating and multiple study rooms equipped with the latest technology. The technology available allows students access to video conferencing, T1 InTouch collaboration tables, charging stations, laptops, and the ability to connect to multiple devices to promote sharing.
One of the things that we found from doing our research is that there is far more group work happening in classes than there was when I was going to college. And so what we've discovered then was that there really were no spaces in the library that were designed intentionally to support that kind of work.
We were interested in having this space be filled with things that we knew students needed to use or wanted to use. We know that students want to work sitting in soft seating. We also knew that students want to work in task chairs that can roll around and that are also comfortable. We knew that students wanted to work in spaces that have windows, and so we've used the windows in this space to great effect, opening up windows that were not accessible to students before now, and putting furniture around them so that they could orient themselves to the windows and settle in and do what they needed to do.
Not only have we thought about the furniture in terms of flexibility and configurability, the technology, we've also thought in that way as well, as far as how can you connect multiple devices in, how can you use a Mac or a PC, or even how can I bring my mobile phone into the space and via AirPlay actually show images from my phone to a large monitor without having to connect.
They can think on whiteboards, they can sketch things on whiteboards, and they can either refer to reference material that they have on their laptop or the paper that they're working on, and having all of those things be in the space together. Those were things that we had seen them trying to do or needing to do in other spaces, either elsewhere on campus or elsewhere in the library, and we wanted to bring that all together in this one space.
It's all about convenience. So what we find is that those students are carrying their own technology. Sometimes they like the ability and flexibility to come in knowing that technology is in the space and that they can leave their laptop at home and simply come use resources that are available. The other thing that we've envisioned in the library space is around connection. So the thought is, what can I bring to the library as a device and connect and extend the power and ability of, say, a laptop as an example. So we have T1 vision tables that allow for individuals to connect their laptops at the same time and do group collaborative work.
So some of the parts of the ground floor I think are definitely being used in the way that we thought they would be. And I think the thing that was the easiest translation were the study rooms. We knew that the new glass-walled rooms were going to be well used, and we set them up with screens and whiteboards and all of that sort of thing. The open space that we have in the middle, students are pulling the tables apart and putting them back together and working in larger or smaller groups depending on who's coming in there. They're also using the privacy partitions that we put in relatively expected ways. So they're taking them and putting them around individual chairs if they want to work together, but they're also using them to create impromptu study rooms. So if they're out in the open and they want to mark off a space where their group is working, they'll use those for that. We have been surprised a little bit in how students have been using some of the quieter spaces, and I think that this is some of the work that architecture student Allison Schaefer has been doing. And so Allison is interested in responsive spaces, and she's interested in ways that architects can build in mechanical or digital things that respond to the kinds of things that people are doing in a space. And so in thinking about how she might build that, she's been looking at what people are doing in this space in the library and using this space to think about her project.
I took 2 days and I dissected every single person and their activity, and kind of did a bar diagram to show like how long people stay and how they use the space, and just to show that there's like, obviously by the cafe it's shorter times and they're eating and talking, whereas back here is longer studying, sleeping type spaces. So that was important in understanding the space.
We need to use this information to make sure not just that students are getting to make decisions about how they use the space, but that we've actually set the spaces up so that it's as effective a use of that space as possible.
The operative word for the library space really is and. So it's not, can I do this piece of work or the other? Can I use this piece of technology or another? It's how can I use any bit of technology? So it's really the thought of enabling and empowering students to do the work in the way that they want to work.
I just think that if you're walking through that space, if you walk through there and do not get chills every single time you walk through, then you must get another job, because this is exactly the sort of thing that we're all here working tirelessly to produce. We've created these spaces, high traffic spaces, that students will walk through and see each other working in ways that is just inspiring. And they're role modeling, whether they know it or not. You see, I really believe that the library has a huge role to play in creating a culture of study on campus. I've seen this work in other places. I know that it's working right now. Every time you walk through that space, it makes you think, I should be working right now. I think I want to work right now. I think this is what people do at UNC Charlotte. I want to be like all of these people, and really I think that's one of the functions that the space does, and I'm really proud of that. I met the chair of the chemistry department the other day, and she said that she now purposely walks through that space because she sees her students actually doing chemistry equations. She knows what classes they're in just by looking at the whiteboards, and I just think that this is beautiful. I mean, this is learning happening. This is exactly what we're here for.
When I started in 1977, the thing that caught my eye about Charlotte was how rural it was at the time. When you came off of Interstate 85, where University Hospital is now, there was an old folks home called Green Acres. So between Interstate 85 and UNC Charlotte, that was the only landmark. Then when you came onto what is now Highway 49, you see this school, and it's tucked way back. So really the only thing you see with the school was the four residence halls, and then you saw the dining hall. And we had a core group of buildings. There was Denny, Barnhart, Kennedy. It was the library. It was just a shell of what it is today. So when I come back and I look at the school, it just doesn't look like the UNC Charlotte that I remember. It's just been a dramatic change, but all really for the good. We're a relatively young institution, so our challenge has been getting folks to realize that we are the urban research institution and that we have a lot of value to this region. We're getting a lot of notoriety by virtue of the expansion of the colleges here, and as we continue to grow, we'll continue to get that notoriety. A lot of our alums don't necessarily stay engaged with UNC Charlotte And we're missing a lot of opportunities to really help tell the UNC Charlotte story. So one of the things that I would love to see is a way for us to get some of the professors here at the university engaged with alumni, letting them know what's going on in the various colleges, how they can come back, mentor students, just ways we can get people really feeling like they're part of the university again, and again giving us that notoriety that I think we need. I think there are a lot of students who are coming to the institution that may not have the resources they need to understand how to best develop while they're here. So one of the things that I do is I spend a lot of time with the students. There's a group called United Black Professionals, and I spend a lot of time with them helping them to network in the community, to find people that can help give them insight on careers, as well as to how to best take advantage of their time here at UNC Charlotte. The other thing that I love to do is give money. Don't have a lot of it, but I just think it's important because a lot of people think this is a state institution, and hence, as such, there's a lot of funding that is given to the university. But at the end of the day, with the economy being what it is, the funding cuts have really impacted the school. So I feel like it's my responsibility to try to help augment the funding such that we can keep the caliber of professors that we have here, as well as to be able to provide scholarships to students who really have the aptitude to come to college but don't have the financial resources. So if I can play a part in making that a reality, then all the better.
UNC Charlotte will host the 2013 Atlantic 10 Conference Baseball Championship, May 22nd through 25th. Inside UNC Charlotte's Ryan Rose sat down with head coach Loren Hibbs and seniors John Hamilton and Shane Basen to talk about the event.
Let's talk about the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament coming to Charlotte. You've never hosted the A10 tournament here. The last time a conference tournament was here, 1995. The last year of the Metro. Right. So what does that bring as far as the program, a little prestige for you guys, but getting to play that at home in front of your own fans when it comes to that part of the season?
Every conference game is going to matter, and there was a conference team last year in Xavier that I think won 14 conference games that did not make the conference tournament. Right. And they were 4 games over 500 in the conference. So we're going to have to take care of that aspect of it first, and if we do that, which we expect to, then play well in the tournament. I think that with our fan base and with our facility now, it's going to be a great thing for the Atlantic 10. I wish it would have happened a few years ago, but we've gotten to the point now where we're going to host it. And we're trying to make the overall experience not only for our guys, if we're fortunate enough to be in the tournament, but for the other teams, make it a good deal. It's our last year in the A10. And you and I have talked a lot about when we entered the A10 in 2006, let's make our program the best program overall in the entire league. And I think we've come really close to doing that most years, and we want to finish everything on a positive note, not only for our program, but for the other programs in the A10.
Is it kind of a carrot hanging out there that, we get to that point, we're going to have it on our home turf? You got to think that's got to be a little bit of an advantage for you guys.
Oh yeah, me and Shane were definitely just talking about it on the way over here. It's something we all look forward to, but we know we got to take care of business in order to get there and then worry about it then.
Good fans come out to watch you guys play, and I'm sure that's kind of another carrot to it, being able to squeeze another 3 or 4 more home games and play in front of that rabid fan base.
Yeah, well, our student section's great. A bunch of students the past couple of years been coming out, getting on the other team. They sit right next to their dugouts. A lot of the guys are local, so the parents and their family and friends can come out and see, but since I've been here, the fans have been great. Gets us excited to play each day.
Charlotte thrower Jake Deaton will go down as one of the best to come through the 49ers track program. Deaton's success has been the result of hard work and dedication.
I've spent so much time with my coaches at home, with teammates. You're supposed to be a student athlete, and we all are. But I feel like it's like I got like 3 majors because I've really put a lot of time studying into this, and now I feel like I've been playing around with the idea of possibly coaching while I want to train after everything, and I think I could actually be able to do that now because I feel like I have a much, much better understanding of what I'm doing.
He's just really driven, and he's very critical of himself, which is, you kind of need that to excel as an athlete in any sport. So he's really self-aware, and that's something that really helps him, you know, be better than the rest. When I threw, I wasn't very big myself, and technique was, you know, kind of my strong point. So with him, I mean, he's actually a little bigger than myself, so we've really just pushed technique and, you know, developing his own feel for the event and really trying to, you know, master that.
That's the key thing is, that's the only way I've gotten by all these years is trying to really emphasize on technique and trying to use that to outthrow a lot of people that are so much bigger and so much stronger.
We really worked on certain exercises this year, like the full squat at certain times of the year, and then maybe transitioning to like a half squat later in the season, or doing like a regular bench press to a padded bench press, you know, closer to meets to be more explosive. So we've really been specific with our workouts.
The physicality of a thrower is of utmost importance. I mean, in any event in track and field, it's very skill-oriented, but I mean, you can be a skilled shot putter as there is, and if you're not strong enough and powerful enough to move the ball, then it's not going to go anywhere, or the discus for that matter, no matter how good your skill is. So, yeah, in this sport, that physical development is crucial, and probably as much so for a thrower than for a sprinter or for a jumper. I mean, it's important for them too, but you know, a sprinter or a jumper doesn't have to move that kind of heavy external load over a great distance. So, yeah, and he has just physically developed tremendously since he got here in the weight room. And yet he's maintained his quickness.
A lot of big goals. I've been training really hard, trying to get through everything. We're still trying to improve on technique, and I've even got little things I plan on working on today, just small little tweaks.
And he is tireless as far as being out here and, you know, working through maybe his hands hurting him or maybe this or that, but there's always things that you can do, you know, to work on.
Even after redshirting and being here an extra year, being a fifth year, this year has been the fastest of all, of course. You know, anytime you're trying to hold on to something, it seems like trying to make something last as long as it can. It's the year that flies by. But it's been fast. It's been real fun.
Jake's a real special guy when it comes to Charlotte in like 10. You know, just a recent indoor conference, he set an indoor, you know, record in the shot, which I feel like is probably going to stand for a little bit. You know, he's a special athlete. You really only encounter, you know, once every maybe 4 years. I mean, it's hard to say with developing athletes and getting people in, but he was really, you know, a great pick for Charlotte, and you know, obviously turned out really well, and you know, he's been doing things real well all season. I expect, you know, him to do more as well. I think he does too. So we're looking up for the rest of the season.
Thanks once again for joining us. You can see more on the web at inside.uncc.edu, and all of our segments are on YouTube. In the meantime, we look forward to seeing you again next time right here inside UNC Charlotte.